Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table today, what you're going to see is you're going to see a new Kydex holster that I just got. This Kydex holster is actually from someone that probably a lot of you know and have seen on YouTube channels. His name is Shooter Industries, and he has his own little storefront on eBay. He's starting to make Kydex holsters. So he actually PM'd me one night asking me if I'd be willing to review the holster for him. So I said, sure, why not? Absolutely. If it's a new company and they want some support or at least some, just some notoriety, then yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to help out, especially if they make a solid product. One of the things I will tell you about this holster before we get started on the table is that this was originally for a Glock 17, but before I actually received the holster, I wound up getting a really good deal on my Glock 17 and I wound up selling it. So unfortunately, this was made for a Glock 17. So instead, we're going to use the Glock 19 to show it. Now, with that, of course, I would tell you that is there going to be some fitting issues? I didn't find really much of anything. There's a slight movement in the holster, but from that regard, I would play it on the fact that it's just the wrong gun. Other than that, it's actually pretty nice. So why don't we go to the table and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so we're back to the table. And on the table, you see my Glock 19 inside this holster. And like I said a little bit earlier, unfortunately, I wound up selling my Glock 17, which this holster was actually made for because I got a real sweetheart of a deal and I just couldn't pass it up. So, you'll notice that the holster does carry a little bit further past, obviously because the muzzle is longer on a 17 than obviously the 19. However, it doesn't really shy away from the way it fits in the holster. It holds it really nice. There's really nothing to worry about. Even if you had a 17 and a 19 and you really only wanted to pick up one holster, this could be a great option for you, And again, just to get the positive click, it's not an overwhelmingly popping sound like you do on some of the other holsters, but again, it is very secure. It's secure enough. It's not going anywhere. There's just a hair of movement, not even that much. You'll notice there really is no place to put retention down on this. I'm assuming that these holes are in there to cut down on weight overall. And I've got to tell you, one of the things I do like about the holster is that it is extremely light. It is .06 Kydex. So I know some people might say, oh, that's a little bit too thin. There are some people out there who talk about the Kydex being thin and eventually it flexes. Honestly, I don't necessarily believe that, especially if the holster is done in a way that is quality. And, for this, everything looks really nice. The molding is done well. All of the edging is very, very smooth and very, very well polished. So that's a nice thing to see. The clip on here is your typical Schultz clip, but it's very, very rigid. It's probably one of the most rigid ones that I've actually gotten my hands on, really, which is kind of interesting. It is not a cantable or uncantable one, so you don't have the two positions. You only have one solid position. I would say this is probably about a 10-degree cant. Me, preference-wise, I like to have an extreme amount of cant, so 15 degrees, maybe even a little bit more than that would be great. And again, because this is such a new company, these are options that eventually may come out. Again, it's going to be up to the owner. One of the things that I thought was kind of cool about this holster that is a little different than some of the other ones that I've seen, and I'm going to try to grab one. Like, for example, this is one from Mid-Atlantic Holsters, and you'll notice the way it's cut. So a lot of the Kydex holsters you get, guys, are usually, kind of high up here where the clip sits. In this case, it's almost like it's a dramatic V-cut. And, at first I didn't know what to think about that, but then after actually holstering the weapon and actually carrying it for a couple of days, I'm going to tell you guys, it's kind of cool. I actually like that. Everything is very well protected. The sight is protected. The slide is protected. Really everything is. And you'll notice that even when you go to grab the gun, you're getting a really nice solid purchase. There's absolutely no Kydex that's going to catch you on the hand, nothing that's going to interfere with you pulling your handgun. And I think that's pretty cool. That's one of the more unique things that I've seen than on some other holsters. And it's not knocking any other holster. This one is just kind of unique in that way. And I actually like that. That's actually a pretty cool feature. And you can see you actually get a little bit of that trigger guard that's exposed. So you get an excellent grip on your gun and you don't have to worry about getting your hand caught on any of that Kydex or any of the rubbing. So I think that's really nice. Overall, for about $25, an inside the waistband Kydex holster. Again, it is a pretty solid holster. There isn't a crazy amount of flex on this, even though it is a thinner Kydex. But I'll tell you, there's an advantage to that. The thinner the Kydex, the less you're going to feel it when you're carrying it. And I think that's actually a really good feature. Again, time will tell how it's going to stand up, but overall, I think it's a pretty good option for us out there. And if you're out there like me and you have multiple handguns and you don't have to spend $50, $60 on one Kydex holster, these are the options that I look forward to. You know, when they're a good solid product for about $25, you really can't go wrong with that. Now, if I had to say if there was anything I'd like to see improve on it, definitely would like to see maybe an adjustable or even more of a further forward cant so that I can get about 15 to 20 degrees, which would be kind of cool. And obviously, you know me, I'm a person who likes to have different types of Kydex. I like the black. Black is great, no issues, nobody's going to see it. But I definitely would like to have more options. And again, it is a startup company, guys, so eventually maybe he will invest some money into that, and that would be kind of a cool feature. He's also coming out with some outside the waistband options as well. Again, it is a newer company, so it's just kind of starting out. So he is starting slow. And, honestly, guys, I don't really see too much to complain about the holster. And even though it was made for a 17, it really does fit the 19 pretty darn well. I don't have any issues with it. It doesn't come out. It's really held in there tightly. I'm hoping he's going to come and, or actually at some point, send me out a holster for a P10. Because I do have another one coming in and I'd like to be able to get a holster for that. And then we'll do another test on that. We'll follow up and we'll see how it fits on that gun. And, just to make sure it's more of a legitimate fit, because obviously, again, this one was made for a 17, but I'll be honest with you, it holds a 19 pretty damn nice. So take a look at his company. Again, his eBay store will be posted in the link down below. I really appreciate him sending me out this holster. And again, the name of the actual eBay store for you guys to make sure that you go over there and check it out is going to be, let me just pull it up, Shooter Industries. And that's right on eBay, guys. So again, I will put a link down below. Make sure you check it out. If you're in the market for a good, affordable holster, this would be a great option for you. So I hope you have a great night. Stay safe as always, and freedom is never free.